The following broadcast is intended for mature audiences. These are real people sharing very real, deeply personal experiences. This content may be considered triggering for others and for those who are sharing. The chat room is a privilege intended for discussions and sharing. You are not being asked to agree, but you are being asked to stay civil and refrain from personal attacks. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Am I Mental, your weekly live podcast where real people share real stories about living life with mental health issues and mental health. Yes, I am your host. As always, is our co-host, Bexy.
Hey, guys.
And this week, we are going to be talking about abusive relationships. Getting out of them, getting into a relationship. Yes, we have had this topic once before, but everybody's experiences is different, and we can always learn something new no matter what the topic. We've talked about depression how many times now? We've talked about ADD how many times now? And it's always interesting every single time. And this person here is someone that is very near and dear to my heart. I've been friends with for a very long time. And I'm so thankful that they decided to come on the show. But before we get started, we do have a little bill paying to do. If you like what we're doing, please share our episodes. Probably the best thing you could do to help us grow. If there's an episode that's particularly resonated with you or you think will definitely help someone out, by all means do so. We have been credited with saving lives, which is awesome. If we could keep saving more lives, that would be the best ever. And if you want to do more than just share, if you really want to kind of help us out more deeply, you can also go and do some donating. You go to www.amimental.net/donate. There's a number of ways you can donate there, and if you want, we also have merchandise where it actually says Teespring Store. It is a link. Click on it, and it will take you to our storefront, and you can buy like masks, because of COVID. We have T-shirts, hoodies, tote bags. We got stickers. We got stuff. And all of it helps to promote and further our show and make it bigger than what it is right now. And now, without further ado, tonight's guest is A. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Very good. I'm actually just telling my little one that I need to be left alone for just an hour.
Yeah.
On my way out. Love you so much.
If this episode goes just an hour, I would be surprised. We haven't had a 1 hour episode since we've been able to go to 3. So,
right. Really?
Really, yeah. Our episodes tend to go hour and a half to 2 hours. I would like it to go to an hour and a half, but if it's flowing and it feels good and everybody's having a good time and the chat's busy, who cares?
Everybody's happy.
Richard, so we have Richard and Ivania already in the chat saying hello.
Yes.
And ambient noise.
Hello there.
I'm not hearing any ambient noise.
I was hearing some, actually, but I think it might have been on my end. And now that I have my headphones, it seems to have gone away.
It's cleared up on my end, too. There was something going on, but now it seems quite clear and smooth.
Awesome. All right, so why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight.
We'll go with my name's A. And I've been friends with Eric since...
Name dropped already.
Oh!
It wasn't me!
Wow! You got like 3 seconds into your intro and I got name dropped.
So good. I did so good. I did so good. Sorry about that. I've known my friend here for a very long time. I don't remember not knowing him.
Yeah, I remember that we became really good friends in 4th grade.
4th grade, okay. We reconnected in the last couple years, which has been awesome.
Yeah,
and it's been a positive experience.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been great having you back in my life again. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, honestly, it's... our high school years were our high school years. Let's just call them what they were, fucked up.
Yes.
But it's now, as an adult, our relationship seems to be more along the lines of that period that we had back when we were really young, which is awesome. But we can joke about adult stuff now.
Right, and we can be real and true to ourselves once again.
Yes, we can, which is fantastic. And that actually kind of leads into, I remember bringing it up with you, and I'm going to reach out to some people because I've also kind of tested the waters a little bit, asking other people what they thought about it. And having the high school get-together episode, just get a few people from different cliques, all from roughly the same grade period, and let's talk about high school. Let's compare and contrast our experiences and see, what it was like. And our hometown, it's tiny as fuck. Our class was 100 students strong.
I think only 75 graduated.
Yeah, only 75 graduated. I was one of the 25 that didn't the first time. Like, I graduated. It just took me an extra year. But I think that it would be really good for us to all kind of rehash it from different perspectives, from different cliques, or cliques, however you want to call it, and get a better idea of what it was really like, and see if it's if other people can relate. Because, like, my wife, when I talk about the popular kids, I was like, man, I fucking hated the popular kids. They're all a bunch of douche nozzles. And she's like, but the popular kids are so nice. I'm like, what planet are you from? So, yeah.
Okay, where did she go to school so I can send my kids there?
Right? I'll tell you off the air. I will say it's very close to where I live now.
Okay.
But anyway, we're not talking about
Fair
that.
enough.
We are talking about your experiences, and you said you wanted to talk about being in abusive relationships, or did you want to change the subject? It's free. This is your platform. You decide.
No, that's fine. I would say it's a very important subject, which I have unfortunately been involved in multiple times.
So you're kind of a subject matter expert in a very unfortunate way.
I would say so, yes. It's been a strong, repetitive pattern ever since high school. I've only finally now actually been in a healthy relationship for 14 years, and where my husband is my best friend and everything is wonderful.
That is awesome.
Every relationship before that was just not good, and I would just urge people to not let people abuse you. My first husband was abusive. Mostly verbally, and I gave my boyfriends all the power that you give to your parents.
Oh,
So if they said jump, I felt I had to say how high, and it was, I'm sure, very good for them, but not very good for me as an individual. My first marriage ended in me getting beaten only once, but once was enough.
I tell
And
you,
I left that.
that makes my blood boil. It makes my blood boil when I hear about a stranger, but you're a friend.
Right? No, well, I said you never know you're really gonna be there until you are.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been a lot of years, but
Oh gosh.
it still pisses me off.
I was 18. I'm 44.
Oof. Yeah, I'm 43, so...
It's been a while, but I let that continue with almost every relationship. I had a boyfriend who told me to strip naked in the car. And I did,
Oh.
because I felt I had to.
Ugh.
And I was crying and I was humiliated. But again, I just gave these men this complete power where they were just as powerful as God or your parent. And I just did not have the self-esteem or self-worth or self-confidence to, rise above that and realize, fuck you.
So I'm glad you eventually did get to that point. Seriously.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
So, and like, Bexy doesn't even really know you.
Until
But...
having kids. So I guess it was a slow learner. Because having kids was where it finally was like, this is not okay. And that was my second marriage, where I had my first son. And he was an alcoholic. My first husband was the only one that didn't drink. But my second husband was an alcoholic, and he was not a nice alcoholic. Just very verbally abusive. I think the worst night and the night that I realized that none of this was okay, and I was a woman and I was worthy of being treated better, was when he got really drunk and ended up being forcible with me. And he put a butcher knife in my hand. And I was standing in front of our baby's bedroom. And he told me if I was so scared, I could have this knife. And I realized at that point that I was in a very, bad situation.
That's a very toxic situation to be.
Yes.
I mean, him handing you a knife, that's just him gaslighting you. Honestly.
Oh. No, it was, I didn't see that one coming. That was new. And I hadn't been really afraid for my child. But him putting the knife in my hand made me afraid for my child. It was very scary, and I have a lot of scars from that relationship. And I would tell people that everybody is worth something, and no one should be forced into doing things that they don't want to do, even if it's someone you love very much. And being raised like I was raised, you leave your family, you go to your husband, you are your husband's, and you're to be a good wife and a good mother, and that's your job as a woman.
And you just answered one of the questions that just popped up in the chat with Ivania, who asked if you were in the old-fashioned household, like if you were raised in an old-fashioned household, like a patriarchal type atmosphere. I would say that was very much so. Yes.
Very much so. But I mean, the abuse went even further, that I still have effects to this day from it. I'd be bathing my baby, who's sitting in one of those little chairs in the tub where, it's got the suction cups down. So they're a little itty bitty baby. They don't talk. They're just crawling around. They can't walk. And he would molest me while I was giving my baby a bath. So I would pull the shower curtain over, and, not that my baby would remember, but, you do as a person have a certain amount of decency, we hope, in ourselves. And that was a very low point. But again, it was something that I had to go through. And in my current relationship, which I never had these effects in that relationship, I cannot be touched intimately once I'm asleep. I can't be even innocently touched to be cuddled unless it's my children. I will try to beat the holy hell out of you. And I have not figured out a way to get rid of that.
That might take some therapy.
Right? I've offered to be hypnotized.
I don't know.
But my husband doesn't want people messing in my brain.
At the same time, therapy might help. It might not. This might be something that has become so ingrained. You never know. But you will never know if therapy will help or not unless you go to therapy. Right.
Nope. Very, 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 very true. And we actually got pregnant the second time in that second marriage. And we did it on purpose. Counted the days. Got it right the first try. And in, say, the second trimester, he decided he did not want to be a father or a husband anymore. And I've got a 3-year-old, and I'm pregnant. And I'm a stay-at-home mom.
That's a shitty situation to find yourself in.
It was not fun. It was not fun. Especially finding this out on the drive back home after I've spent Thanksgiving and Christmas with my parents.
Oof.
And was so excited to go home with my husband.
And then he drops that bomb on you.
Yeah. Responsible for anybody anymore. Okay, so why did we just create another life? and we already have one.
That's
He's free.
now obviously I'm not him. I'm just going based off of what I've seen in the past. Maybe he was already considering leaving before, and he was hoping that maybe by having another child, it would rescue the relationship and bring back the fire. Maybe that's why.
You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just speculating.
But he did end up. He ended up. So he was cheating with his first girlfriend in high school. So after I had left,
wow.
Yeah, after I left, he flew her up to stay in my house and sleep with her all over my house.
Oh, hell no.
While I'm pregnant. Well, actually, at that point, I just had a miscarriage because after the drive home, like a week after the drive home, I had a miscarriage.
Wow. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a stress-induced one, to be honest.
Right. No. Yep. Probably guaranteed. But yeah, no, he had a kid before we were married. I should have learned, women, beware of men who do not have contact with their young children.
Yeah.
If they've done it once and they're a shitty, fucked up dad, they're always going to be a shitty, fucked up dad.
It takes a lot for them
to be changed.
It takes a lot for that kind of person to change, and they have to want it.
Right, and it can happen. That, I'm being too crucial, too critical. It can happen, but I would say the odds are higher.
You're better off. Yeah, I was gonna say you're better off gambling on it'll happen again.
Right.
Especially when it's your life and lives that you're bringing into the world are on the line.
Oh yes, no, and that's the kicker. I don't think any of us even know who we are until we have children.
That's true. And Ivania jumped in and said, when you're talking about it all, she said, and maybe he was just a selfish piece of shit. And then said, yep, I called it a selfish piece of shit.
Yes. Well, actually, you're very much correct. He is third marriage down, has his third child from a third separate woman. She also divorced him for being abusive. And now he's been single for like 4 years. But he continued. It started before me. It continued through me. It went after me. And now he's got 3 sons, one of which, the first one, he does not even know where in the world the child is.
Yeah,
he actually called to ask me where he was. I would not.
What's up, Bexy?
I said, Floating Deck says sociopathic is different from selfish. Sounds more like a sociopath that can't understand other people have feelings.
Yeah. Also had short man syndrome.
Oh, little Napoleon.
Oh, yes.
Floating Duck may have hit a bullseye on that one.
Yeah.
It did good. Yeah, did good. No, that's a dangerous one. I was actually quite worried about that for my youngest son because he was a product of 2 small people and one with that problem.
And you remember me when I was a kid. I mean, you're tiny. I was tiny too. I think I stole your height.
And how tall are you now?
I am 6'1".
Well, someone did not stay tiny.
No. I exploded in height during my sophomore year, and with most of it happening between my sophomore and junior year. As I remember walking down the hallway at school, and I just realized, and I saw a friend, someone that we both know. I'm not gonna name drop. You know what? I'll throw it in the chat so you can.
Sorry.
I'm gonna throw it in the chat so you can see in our chat.
Okay.
On Zoom. So I saw this person who, in 8th grade, towered over me.
Mm.
And then I saw her again, and I realized I was looking at her hairline. And I stopped dead in my tracks, and I looked up and down the hallway and realized I was seeing eyebrows, hairlines, and the tops of heads everywhere. Very few people were as tall as me. I was like, holy shit, I am tall!
Something changed.
Yep. Did you see in the chat who it was?
Yes, yeah. That was great. She scared the crap out of me in 8th grade.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was a big. I mean, she was tall. She was built like a linebacker, and she was mean.
Right?
I'm saying was mean because I don't know how she is today. People change.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair. Actually, in high school, there was only one other person I found more intimidating than her. I don't even remember her name, but I believe it was our freshman year. And it was I think the girl was a junior or a senior, and the girl was a freshman, and she was a blonde freshman. And there was a fight right in the foyer.
Oh, I remember
of
that
the school
fight.
by the Bears. And I accidentally, well, I guess purposely, worked my way to the front of the crowd. And being, like you said, I was tiny, I was able to work my way towards the front of the crowd just to see one girl bloodying the head of the blonde girl on the floor, and me just realizing I want to get to the back of this fucking crowd. And even though I was able to get to the front, going backward was not fucking easy. And I was not amused at what I was seeing. I was terrified. And I've honestly never seen that much violence up close and personal done in front of me.
Yeah, I remember the blood stain.
Counting to me.
I didn't see the fight, but I remember seeing the blood stain on the floor being cleaned up.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
For a small school.
Yeah, and Betsy dropped something in the chat that, as you saw, I was cracking up, trying not to laugh out loud. When I said I exploded in high school, she's all brag about your one-handed escapades. And Ivani's all, damn it, Betsy, you beat me to it.
I guess we're just laugh out loud. I've been holding it in for so long.
Yeah, that's why you got to explode.
That was perfect. On that perfect note, I have a perfect topper for that one. So today, my youngest son, he is on. He's on. It's not Zoom. It's Google Chat or Google Classroom.
Okay.
For school, and our teacher. You want me to say a name?
If you want to, although it'll help people to identify. That's the scary part. Is it a teacher that we had?
Yes, we were the first class he ever taught.
In high school.
Yes. He was short with a bowl haircut and a very big stoner.
Yes.
Okay, we're on the same page. So he is doing his school chat with our kids, and he's saying that next week, hallelujah, they can come to school for 1 hour, Monday through Friday, for in-class support. And he says, so, all I want you to do, because we got all you on here, he goes, I want you to mute each other until I call your name. And then I want you to say, I'm coming. And I know that if you're under a certain age, that has no funny innuendo to it, but at 13 years old in the 7th grade, their mind immediately, my son's running around the kitchen, I'm coming now.
I don't know. I probably would have responded back to him. Well, I'm starting to breathe a little hard.
And Ivania says, good Lord, what the fuck was happening in your school?
Yeah, but that was actually back when we were talking about when that one blonde got her head turned red.
Right.
Oh,
right?
Man. I mean, that's just... Out of the 4 years that we were in high school, that was the single most violent and bloody act the entire time. That just happened to be at the beginning of our freshman year. Which, of course, that's
the only fight I ever saw. I never saw another fight.
I saw a couple, but, nothing like that. Nothing remotely like that. Nothing where they pretty much had to go, hey, let's get the ambulance here,
And then a big bottle of bleach.
Yep. I did see someone get hit so hard in the nuts with a volleyball that they fell to the ground and pukes. But, that was just war ball. Other people call it dodgeball. We called it war ball because you had, people from the, 18, 17, 16, 15, and 14 boys and they're doing the width of the gym, not the length, the width, with volleyballs. And some of these guys were basically silverback gorillas in size, and man, could they throw a ball fucking hard.
Dude, I think you got abused in PE, man.
I loved
I remember them doing that to me.
I took PE my junior and senior years. I waited until I actually, I was like, I'm not doing PE until I hit puberty.
Okay, there you go. I hid in the bathroom stall and changed.
Yeah, no, but
again, the very low self-esteem, and who wants to be changing in front of other girls that have these Barbie doll boobs, and you're just like, well, yeah, I'm supposed to have them, but they're just not there.
Like, I got mosquito bites.
When you were talking about when you were talking about the volleyball thing, Vanya says, I fantasize about doing that to a couple people.
I do too, Vanya. Good for you.
And she was also laughing about, your son running around the kitchen. I'm coming. Like, I'm 43 with 2 college degrees, and it's still funny. But
potty humor, bathroom humor, the perverted humor is always funny.
Yeah, and this show always goes there now. Thanks. Ever since we picked up
always.
Bexy as a co-host, it always goes there. It's not necessarily her fault. It's more my fault, but she encourages the shit.
I can't help it if we feed off each other that way.
She's an enabler. Look at me blaming her.
Uh-huh.
I think that's great. We need more of that. We need more of good, honest, just honest, clean relationships that are not deceitful, that are not abusive, that are respectful.
So aside from your nighttime dead to sleep violence,
right?
Does anything else?
Other than that, I'm really nice.
What was that?
I said, other than that, I'm really nice.
Well, you've always been nice.
Just don't fucking touch me when I'm asleep.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, Jesus, floating duck.
My God.
Did you say feed off or beat off each other? Legitimately couldn't tell. Feed. She's in Texas. It would be a hell of a reach.
Right?
I was going to say, you are my brother, and we do not live in Alabama. Thank you very much.
Hey, I grew up in a really small town that was damn near Alabama/California.
If you pissed purple, they knew it.
Yeah. Oh, what was really fun was when you were sick for the weekend, and you missed school Friday, you missed the whole weekend because you're sick, but you go back to school Monday, and you hear about the parties that you were seen at. You're like, really? Because I didn't go anywhere.
I was sick.
Yeah. It's like, damn.
I loved having my mother report back on me when I had run away. I ran away my freshman year. I lived with my grandparents as a legal frickin' runaway. My parents, come to find out, I will not drop a name because I'm getting into the groove here. So I'm behaving myself. But this older friend who loved me actually called my parents to tell them to the one and only high school party, the first one I'd ever gone to, out at Lake Siskiyou. Because they were hoping they could get me arrested. Because if I got arrested, then they could make me come home.
Oof, yep. But why?
I did not get arrested, although it was an interesting night.
So was that at North Shore or Bug Beach?
I believe it was I believe it was on North Shore. So I didn't drive because I was but everybody was just drinking, and there was fires, fire pits and stuff. And I was told by my specific watch guard friend, to give you a hint, she would tell me to tell people, yeah, you got a problem with me, then Mo will kick your ass.
I know who you're talking about.
So she told me that night, she goes, okay, this is your first time, girlie. You cannot go on any walks with anybody but your cousins. Because I had 2 cousins that were in high school, part of the Keystone crew.
Yep, and I know that if anybody from our area heard that just now, they'd be like, yeah, I know who that is!
Right? right? Came up to the high school happy and proud, says, yeah, so-and-so is my cousin. They said, oh, shit. So the high school's going to burn fucking down now. We got 3 of you fuckers.
Yeah, meanwhile, I was told by one of my uncles, be glad that you have your father's last name and not your mother's last name, because if they found out that you're related to me, they'll kick you out of school.
Right? Right? So on that night, the cops did get called. We did not get caught. I did end up sitting on someone's lap driving home as he threw up out the window and kept on telling the driver to go faster.
Yeah.
My God, that sounds like one of my friends.
My first high school party was interesting.
Yeah, I can tell. But to go
But
back,
you know, the scary thing about go ahead.
but I was just going to say, to go back with the abusive relationships things from the past. I mean, is there anything that your current husband has done other than touch you that has triggered you to go back, like mentally or emotionally?
Only in sleep.
That's
Only in
awesome.
sleep.
That is awesome.
And I feel so bad about it because when he tells me what happens in the morning, I have no knowledge of it. I will hit, I will kick, I will bite. And as far as I know, I went to sleep at night and I woke up in the morning.
Wow.
That's why it's so disturbing.
Did you ever watch the show Reba?
No, I don't think so.
There was an episode, I can't remember her name. She was the...
Oh, Reba McEntire.
Yes.
Yes, I didn't watch the whole like all the seasons on the show, but yes, I did watch it.
So there was an episode where Reba's ex-husband, I think, wound up marrying that bigger blonde chick who wound up actually getting really skinny by the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see the episode when he couldn't get any restful sleep?
No, I don't think so.
It turned out that she was just kicking the shit out of him in her sleep. Absolutely just knocking the shit out of him, kicking him out of the bed. Because she was bigger, too. She could. But they both would sleep through the whole thing. So I was like, I could just picture you just wailing away. And I mean, your man is not a small dude. He is not a small dude.
But I've heard him. Well, only because he had a fractured rib, but I just happened to punch in the right spot.
Are you sure you were asleep?
I was. I felt so fucking bad in the morning. Oh my God. I always feel so bad. I've almost tried to make a standing rule with him that we have to go to bed at the same time. Because if we go to bed at the same time, I can fall asleep in his arms and everything's okay. And I can be in his arms all night long. And that will not trigger me. It's only if I'm asleep and I am by myself.
Wow.
And he tries to hug me or cuddle me or anything that comes out. And again, if my kids, not that they typically do anymore due to their ages, but if my kids were to come in, my body just knows and will just open the covers and, spoon with them and be all good. There's no violence or threat to my children from me. It's just that, I guess, just male aspect. My body somehow knows in my sleep that this is a man and these are my children.
And it seems like your body's also associated that if it is a man and it is in bed with me and wasn't there before, it is a threat.
Yeah, definitely.
And Kat just joined in. Got a little late after work, but Kat has been a regular in the chat.
Yeah, there goes. My chat must be messing up again.
It's been running pretty smooth on my end. I've been impressed. Not nearly as many glitches as we experienced before, like you were saying about the other site we're using.
Yeah, you know what? Skype used to be the one. Now, I'm sorry, Zoom. Yeah, this is the best audio experience that we've had. And this is better than FaceTime, which we've done as well.
Have you ever had a problem getting hacked on this? Because I've heard that Zoom's a very unsafe platform.
They're working on it. They have become more secure recently. They were at first doing the security by obscurity. because no one knew who Zoom was. They were like, wow, we're secure. No one wants to.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they became the hottest thing, and of course they got hacked. But then, they didn't just sit around and do nothing. They wanted to be able to keep the schools. They wanted to keep the government contracts. In order to do that, you have to be secure. So they have rolled out some updates, and they're doing a lot better now.
Oh, we have a really good comment. Ivania says, only during sleep. That's kind of amazing to me. My ex was mentally abusive. I lived in a constant state of fear for 20 plus years. I have to consciously make an effort not to let little things my current man does to not throw myself into abused wife mode. Little things like waking up alone because he woke up first can throw me. I go into a panic.
Yeah, and Ivania, her relationship with her ex, I've known Ivania for almost the entire length of her marriage that she had, and I love her new guy. Her new guy is awesome. But yeah, her ex I thought was a good guy, but it's that whole thing of putting the best face forward. And when I got to know more about it, this dude, Jesus. I really don't like him. I really don't like him.
And I would just say, just keep trying to push forward past that. As I said, I mean, I know there are those triggers. Like, I used to flinch when Gary would lift his hand.
Wow.
Totally have grown out of that, but that was something that I did, which obviously disconcerted my husband because he was not raising his hand to hit me or strike me. He was just raising his hand. But because I had been abused before,
your brain doesn't know the difference after a long while.
Right.
It's instinct to flinch.
But I have not done that we've been married 14 years. I'd be willing to venture that it hasn't happened in 10 years.
That's amazing.
Awesome. As we had we had another guest who had gotten out of an abusive situation, and I'd love to get her back on the show again. But she was talking about, we did talk about that too. It's like, any past behavior, like it is their current husband expressing behaviors today that reflect past behaviors and trigger you. And her big one is that she was also in a very verbally abusive relationship as well as physically. And she would find herself trying to get a rise out of him verbally. Almost like the whole thing of being, I can't get a rise out of you, then how do I know that you even care about me? And he just stays even keel no matter how much she pushes and yells and screams and insults and insinuates. He just stays even keel.
Right.
And it took her a while to realize it's because he loves and respects her and knows her past that he's refusing to rise to that.
No, and that's great. I mean, we all need help in our mental health journeys, I mean,
yeah.
No one is 100%. I don't think anybody is 100% the picture of mental health.
No.
I've never met
if they
anyone
say
who
they
was.
are, they probably have underlying problems.
There might have been one person somewhere. I mean, we have like almost 7 billion people on this planet. There might be one person. But
Right.
they live like in the Amazon rainforest. They have no concept of, like they see the things flying through the air, but they're just mystical beings for all they know. Not jets. They're just mystical beings. And other than that, they're perfectly normal.
Oh God, that's fantastic.
It's because we have westernized, we're all interconnected and all that. We're all fucked up because of it, I think.
And your childhood definitely has a lot to do with it. That is for sure and for certain.
I actually had a really good childhood, but I still wound up coming out pretty fucked up.
I had a good childhood. I did have a good childhood, but I again, to the dysfunction, I had an extremely dysfunctional family. My mom had me very young. I was the product of 2 virgins on their wedding night on Valentine's Day, so I was fucked from the get-go.
Oh, well, that's how you got here.
pure blood on both sides on Valentine's Day. Yes.
At least that's what they tell you.
That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. And I'm knowing these individuals. I guarantee you, it is so.
I
guarantee you, it is so.
I am convinced that I was conceived in the backseat of a car during the Inagata Davida drum solo.
Oh my god.
And I mentioned that to my dad, and his answer was, considering the time period, there's a really good chance of it. So
That's fantastic.
And then Ivani just popped up with someone who was a guest on our podcast, Brittany. She was the TED Talk person. Said that person is probably basically what I was talking about, the only emotionally normal person. Brittany. She says this fucking bitch is Mary Goddamn Poppins, practically perfect in every way. She really is. She's like, what? She's not even 30 yet. And she's getting her second house, and she has no debt. I want to be her when I grow up, but I don't want to grow up, so.
Right? No, I don't want to grow up either. Let's stay young and have fun.
Growing up is overrated.
Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
I'm only as adult as I have to be.
Right? No, yeah. Well, my grandma always used to say you're only as old as you feel, and she was up there skiing Mount Shasta at 75 years old.
Damn. I want to be your grandma.
Wow.
I would like to do that myself, on top of the fact that she smoked 3 fucking packs a day.
I had a grandma who said that if she died the way she wanted to go, that she'd have a bong in one hand, a vibrator in the other, and you don't wipe the smile off her face. She also played Nintendo and listened to Metallica. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I love it. No, I do love it. That is great.
Okay, so Ivani just said, my mother told me she was a virgin until she got married at 16. I was in my late 30s before I found out she was 3 months pregnant when she got married.
Oh, wow.
It's the miraculous conception.
Honey, my grandma lied about her age so that she was 1 year younger, so the math made sense. So, totally get you.
My great-grandfather lied about his age to get into World War I.
To get into it?
Yeah.
Dude, I would have lied about my age to get out of it.
He was 17, and he lied to say he was 18, so that way he could serve.
Oh.
And he,
I feel like I'm 18. I'm 16. I'm 16.
How old are your kids? You got some splaining to do.
Right? I don't want to go to war for anybody. I don't think it's worth it.
The only war that I'd be willing to engage in is if it was here on our own soil.
I'll give you that. Yes.
I would rather serve and spare my children.
Yes. But I really think we ought to mind our own business because I think we meddle too much.
Well, I mean, that's one way that gets onto your own soil is you meddle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so not to get too political, but I mean, just for a great perspective look, one of the greatest political speeches I have ever heard was Ron Paul's Chinese soldiers in Texas speech. It is literally the speech that got me involved into politics.
I'm gonna have to Google that.
But it's a good one. I'm not trying to push any one candidate or another, but damn. It was basically talking about, just Google it, watch it. There's a particular video where you have a guy with kind of a deeper voice and you have this ominous music in the background, and every word he says comes up on the screen and does different shapes and images and stuff. That's the one to watch. It actually ends with Ron Paul's voice at the end, but this one really gives it the gravity and the feel and the teeth that the speech needs. Because, I mean, Ron Paul's just this 5'0" guy with a tiny squeaky voice. But yeah, so amazing speech.
I feel bad because I keep on thinking, you say Ron Paul, and for some reason what's coming to me is this guy that my husband tells me about that's a porn star.
Ron Jeremy?
Yes. Yes.
Well, he's only like the most famous porn star. Up there with Jenna Jameson.
I'd rather see The Rock Johnson personally.
Meanwhile, Ivania was saying, no worries, they wouldn't have let you go to World War II.
Oh, no, but yes, on our own soil, yes. If someone actually comes out to take our children because of who we voted for, I will definitely be willing to go to war to protect.
I don't care who's in office. If there's a war coming to my soil,
no. And I think
first.
the majority of Northern California, at least, I will not pretend to be a resident expert on anybody else, but I think the majority of us are just not okay with that.
The Northern California people, I can say, are basically you were born and raised prepper. But you kind of had to be, because one snowstorm comes along, no power for a week.
Right? Blanket up, layer up.
Why is Ivania talking about wangs now?
Don't know. I was just trying to figure that out.
Meanwhile,
Did you just say wangs?
Yeah, she's like, with less than an average...
Less than average wang. With a less than average wang. I don't know where that came from.
I think she's talking about penises, but I don't know where that came from.
Was it a bad version of spell check?
Oh, because of the Ron Jeremy thing. Ron Paul, Ron Jeremy.
Oh.
Okay. It took me a minute. I'm slow tonight.
How quickly we forget. Sorry about that. I have been shoveling copious amounts of snow since Wednesday.
And I don't know how much longer my voice is going to last. I've been suffering a massive cold with razor blades in my throat, so...
Oh, goodness.
Sorry.
Hey, the show must go on.
Break a leg.
You know, they actually do say that in theater. And
I know.
So, I mean, does anybody have any questions for A about the past relationships? I know we didn't go, like, super, super deep. But, you know, I mean, I don't want to re-traumatize. I don't want her living through her trauma again if she can help it.
Yeah, that's something we never want to happen.
I love A too much.
Thanks.
You see, that's what we gotta do. We gotta get someone I hate to come on the show. I'll be like, all right, let's make you relive your trauma, goddammit.
I got all those demons.
Can you guys hear my dog?
Yes.
I can.
Yeah, she's trying.
Did she have to go potty?
No, she wants in my office.
Okay.
I have the dog door closed. I might have to open it just so she'll shut up.
So, are you her primary love?
For my puppers?
Well, like our dog, her primary love is my husband.
Oh yeah, she picked me.
Yes,
like,
and she constantly drives him nuts.
I love it. She's my little shadow.
Yes, and he likes that too until she's pawing him, and climbing on him and licking on his face. And
what kind of dog?
It's a border collie mixed with a corgi and a lab, so she's a borgie. So very, very short legs and a long body. When she stretches out, she literally looks like a penis and balls.
One of the funniest dogs I ever saw was half German Shepherd, half Corgi. The dog was the size of a German Shepherd, head to tail, but had Corgi legs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, she can jump 6 feet up to kiss Gary on his nose.
This dog couldn't barely jump up onto a couch. I had a dog that we know was half boxer, but we don't know what the other half was because it was a papered boxer female that went into heat while outside and a mutt got her.
Oh, that'll do it.
We think German Shepherd because the ears that she had a muffled bark, so maybe part Basenji. But she was the runt of the litter, yet we had an 8 foot tall cyclone fence enclosure, for their dog pen. So that way they didn't go wandering around everywhere. And she could jump up and look over that.
Holy
She was never able to jump over it, but she was able to jump up and look over it. So if you're walking along and she wanted to give you a kiss, oh yeah, she'd just jump up and lick you. You'd be like, what the hell, dog?
Yep. No, completely.
Evania was just saying that she'll come on, as if I hate her. And then also, any dog that's part corgi looks like a corgi in another dog's costume. That is so true.
Dude, I
That
love my
is very
corgi, and I
true.
like to get her costumes too. I have a nice, cute rain jacket for her. It's darling. It's clear with pink trim. And I got her a princess costume for Halloween.
So I just let my dog in. She's soaking wet. You could have stayed in the house, Dubby.
Ivania says, mine is a corgi dachshund mix. She looks like a corgi dressed like a wiener dog.
That's perfect.
That's so cute.
Oh, and I just got a message separately from Ariel. She's listening. She just can't text.
Huh.
Don't feel bad. I can't understand these things half the time either.
Well, I just let her know that I got her if she has any questions. So, yeah. Or comments. Yeah, we got you. But does anybody have any questions? I mean, the purpose of the chat room really is to discuss the topic at hand. It's not. I mean, I know that we're off topic fairly often.
But usually there's some on-topic stuff thrown in there too.
Yeah. And there are times where, like the first 10 minutes that someone's talking, this is who I am, and they introduce them to the topic. It's just a bunch of people in the chat saying hi to each other and catching up from the week. It's a great community. It really, really is.
That's what my kids do 15 minutes before they jump on their classes.
Yes.
It's like a group chat session.
Evania's dog really does look like a corgi wearing a wiener dog costume.
Oh my goodness.
She just sent me a picture.
Oh.
Oh my god.
See, I can't figure out what happened with Chippy because he is. I mean, I know the person who has his parent. One of them is a terrier, and the other dog is a Chihuahua. So he is a Chihuahua Terrier mix.
God, you talk about two dogs with bad attitudes.
Yeah. Oh, he is the sweetest thing with me. He doesn't like other people around me, but he loves me. But he is he's got the shortest little legs, but this big body for a little dog.
Well, yeah, that one dog I was talking about. Freaking German Shepherd with literal corgi legs.
Oh my gosh.
It's like when
I'm surprised it could support the body.
It's like seeing a monster truck driving around with regular tires. It's just wrong.
Right?
And I have seen that. No joke. That's how they have to transport them because the tires are too wide to fit on the trailers. So they have to be transported on regular tires, and it's the goofiest looking thing. And got Bexy's dog picture. Yeah?
He's got the shortest little legs I've ever seen on a dog.
CG Poo, come here. CG.
I wish I
Hey,
could drop
listen to the
pics
buzz
in the
of my
chat.
Whoa, that was two things at once. What?
Oh, I was saying I wish we could drop pics in the chat when we're talking about our animals and stuff, and people are out there probably going, I want to see what the dog looks like, because that's what I do.
Well, I mean...
Right?
It's not that hard. You could always just upload them to Imager and then drop the URL.
That's true.
Just a thought.
You're speaking Greek.
Oh, crap. Okay, so when we were talking about the bowl-cutted teacher, someone just popped off or they popped off earlier. It's someone that we went to school with.
Okay.
Named the teacher. And Facebook Messenger to me.
I'm assuming they got it right.
Yep. I mean, if you want everyone that first year to know who we're talking about, he would spit on his overhead projector to clean it.
Still does.
Oh God.
Ugh.
Does he still eat dry? It was like smoked trout and seal fat. Yeah, I'm sure he does. He would just come in with this like mason jar of seal fat, open the lid, pull out the smoked salmon, and start dipping it and eat it in class, and then spit on the projector with smoked salmon and seal fat spit, and then wonder why it smeared everywhere.
Imagine trying to take his notes off the screen in Google Classroom. My son is endlessly frustrated.
So, actually,
although he is very nice to my son.
Ivania actually has a question for you.
Okay.
Does your child have any contact with selfish dick face? Your husband, okay. The one that you have a kid with.
Oh, do I have contact with him?
Oh, does your child? Your children.
Oh, my child. No. So, my oldest is the only one that was his. He has not spoken to him since he was 3 years old, which was the age at which we separated. He's currently 17. He'll be 18 in the end of April. We had an agreement in our divorce decree. So basically I had it written up, and he came back at me and told me he sounded like an asshole, which I'm thinking, well, if the shoe fits.
It's hard to laugh, but it's true.
Right, but he's like, I look like an asshole, so I need you to add in these 2 stipulations for me. I'm like, okay, what's that? And he's like, I want a picture of him every year until he turns 18, and if he dies prior to his 18th birthday, I want to be told. I paid an extra $1,000 to have that shit added in. I thought it made him look like more of an asshole.
It personally. Really did. I think so.
So I did just send him his last picture. But I had on my own, because I was adopted by my father as well. So same situation as Tyler, as my oldest. So I had told him if he wanted to meet his biological father, once he was 18, I would facilitate that. So I did speak to him recently about that, and he called me drunk as a skunk, which was fun. And then he called me back a couple of weeks later sober. And he's going to touch base with me at the end of May. And I told him that the best that I will give him is that we can fly out on a Friday. I'll give you Saturday, Sunday. We fly home on Monday. That's it. My son has stated since he was 16 years old that he is going to, first of all, slug the man in the face.
Oh, then you better. Okay, if he's going to slug him in the face, take him while he's still 17.
He's like, I'm slugging him in the face, but then I'm going to hug him, and I'm going to thank him for giving me the mom and the dad that I had that raised me.
Awesome.
So he's stuck with that. So I did warn my douchebag ex about that, and I told him, you better take it, because if you don't, I'll bring a baseball bat to you.
Whew. And then go for it, Bexy. Ivania there.
Yeah, if Vanya says, who even thinks about their kid dying being in a court document?
A selfish asshole.
Yeah.
Selfish, sick assholes that think it makes them look like a bigger man when they're all just fucking themselves.
Yeah.
But I never talked bad about him to my son. So I will give myself that credit.
My oldest isn't genetically mine. And my ex and I, we had to deal with, having a... I don't even know if you remember him, because he didn't actually go to school with us. Her ex. He kept promising the world. Every time he would say, oh, I'm going to come and visit. Coming up from Reading, so it's such a long journey.
Long drive.
Oh, yes, of course. A lot of flying involved in that one.
Oh, yeah.
We would drop everything, all of our plans, so that way, we figured it'd be good for the boy, to hang out with his biological dad. We'd wait all day. We'd wait all evening. Then we'd find out he's not even in town anymore. No call, nothing. And then a week later, we'd hear that he was bad-mouthing us about, oh, they flaked and blah, 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 blah. It's like we literally sat at the house waiting for your call. Literally sat at the house. the whole day. Canceled all of our plans. Well, around the time that my boy was 7, maybe 7, maybe 8, around that age, he called, and our particular nickname for him was Fuckhead. So yeah, so Fuckhead called and promised, I'm going to call you every day. Last time we ever heard from him. And I was just talking to my boy, he's 26 now. And I was talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, he...
How's that possible?
Right? Well, I mean, senior in high school for us...
We were just 26. We were just 26, just a little bit ago.
I'm 26 with a lot of experience. But he said that when he was about 17 or 18, that his biological dad did, in fact, reach out to him. And he was like, fine, I'll go ahead and talk to him. And he has a tattoo of my son's name on his arm. But the thing is that he has more than one kid with that same name.
With the same name?
Yes.
What?
Not even kidding. He
Oh
went
my
and
God.
had another kid after he realized that I was around for good. He went out and got another kid. Already had the tattoo. And then named the kid the same name. Told the girl that this name is for the son that I want to have. Which
my
is
God.
technically true, if you think about
Right?
it. But... And yes, Ivania, he
Wow.
is 26.
That is so bad. For
Yeah.
a minute, I was going to say we're so similar there because my ex had his first son's name tattooed in Old English down his back. And then when our first son came along, our only son together came along, he got his across that, so almost like a cross in Old English. And I asked him, I said, well, would you tattoo my name on you? And he said, no, children are forever and women come and go.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Like, okay, well, and then you have my current husband, who I did not ask anything. I'm not big into tattoos, personally. I'm afraid of needles. So I didn't ask anything, and he got the, what is it called? The living heart? The heart that's got the flame out of the top.
Oh, okay.
And it says both of my children's name, and it says Forever Us.
Aww.
And it goes down his complete arm. And the guy warned him before he did it. He goes, just so you know, dude, you ever want to cover this puppy up, you're going to put a coffin over it on your forearm. And I didn't even ask. And he's totally labeled with my name and my children's name, one that he adopted and one that is his.
That is awesome.
So there's hope.
That is
for all
really
you
cool.
out there who've had bad fucking relationships and cruel freaking treatment and abusive treatment and dysfunctional things happen to you.
And one thing
Good things still out there.
One thing I found really funny, though, is that your husband is really good friends with the previous co-host of the show.
Wouldn't surprise me. He typically knows everybody and their brother.
Well, they went to the same school, so...
Oh.
At the same time.
Oh, really? That's
Yes.
fantastic.
Isn't that?
And that's a small school.
Very. It's like, we're like, woohoo, 100 students strong for like the biggest class ever. That was us. And you look over at that school, it's like, yeah, guys even have 20 students total? How are you guys even a school?
My dad even graduated from that high school.
Wow. Damn.
And we catered numerous of that town's high schools reunions through our restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
I loved your restaurant.
They do it weird though. McLeod, that town does it weird. They do it from like 69, class of 69 to class of, 2000.
Well,
Come for your reunion. I know they don't have the numbers, but there's a big gap in the age of the people that would definitely not know each other.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, Ivania called me a liar because, my oldest is 26. And then she
He
said,
is not 26.
and then she said, I fell asleep during my first tattoo. It was so relaxing. Now, I'm going to have to call her a liar on that one.
I can't imagine that going well.
Mine didn't hurt.
Where did you have it done?
I have 6 total.
Oh.
One on my right leg, one on the back of each hand, one on each forearm, and one on my left wrist.
Okay, well, which one was the first one that you said didn't hurt?
The one on my leg.
I think they would just hurt everywhere.
Yeah, I don't have any tattoos. I plan on getting one. A semicolon right over where the knife started going in when I attempted suicide. Angela doesn't know what that... I name dropped! Son of a
Yes,
bitch!
you did.
We're even, dude. We're even.
Yep, my second time ever name dropping other than myself. What are you laughing about, Bexy?
That's fantastic.
Because I'm the queen of it, but I haven't done it lately.
Oh, you've been a good girl.
Yeah. No. Anyway, so the whole idea of the semicolon is it's for people who attempted suicide. It's the semicolon project. It's that when you could have ended your life, you instead took a pause and you continued your story, and that's what a semicolon represents. And I'm going to put it over the wound, or the I don't even have the scar anymore. It's completely faded. But I'm going to put it where the knife started going in because I wound up not doing it.
I'm so glad you didn't.
I am so glad I didn't too.
I feel the world is a better place with you in it.
Oh, that makes one of us. Oh, wait. Everyone's laughing at my name drop.
Be a better person every day. Live your life every day trying to be a better person.
And honestly, I mean, I have looked back on where I was back then compared to now. And I want to go back in time and just slap the living shit out of myself. Go, do you know how good life gets? This is just a bad season. It's not a bad day. It's not a bad week.
You know what your life is worth. You know you're a valuable person. I think that's what we're lacking in our youth, is that you don't know that you're a valuable person because you're so caught up in what everybody thinks about you. And we were in a small town where everybody had something to think about you.
Yeah.
You weren't in a school of 10,000 where you knew a fraction of the people. Freshman through senior knew you. And if there was anything about you that people didn't think was on par or what they wanted to see, everybody talked about it.
And they made sure you knew.
Right.
Boy, did they make sure you knew.
Oh, God. Big time in 8th grade when the popular kids, they'd ask you if they could borrow some money. And I really wanted to be liked. I really wanted to be liked. So I'd lend them money. And they were nice to me for a day.
And then the money
And then
ran
it was
out.
like, you've been wearing that same jacket for a week. And I'm like thinking, I look really good in this jacket. But that didn't work for me either. So, I pretty much gave up at that point. I just decided, I guess I'll just be happy being the monkey in the middle where no one really notices me, but no one really attacks me either.
Yeah. That was kind of the safe spot.
Playing the game and getting liked and then shit on after the getting what they wanted came through.
I used to cry easily, if you remember. I cried all the time. It was easy to make me cry as a child. And a young teenager.
That so.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay.
I never remember you being a crier. I just remember you being very, very smart and
I was
reserved.
I was very emotional. Oh yeah, I was very reserved. I mean, I always had that impish look in my eyes. I know I did because I saw pictures of me. I was like, yep, I was thinking of something there. My mind was up to no good.
The outside was always good.
Yeah, but it was my sophomore year, and we talked about this one person in particular, married to the woman that they since high school, was sheriff. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, he had me up against one of the portables, and was just bullying me. Not physically so much. Wouldn't let me move, but more verbally. And then it just clicked. I don't give a shit. I don't even like you. I don't respect you. So why the fuck do I care what you think? And that day, from that day forward, I was left alone.
You're probably taller than him at that juncture, too.
No, we were about the same height at that time. It was my sophomore year. I sprouted going into my junior year.
You were just starting the growth.
Yeah, I was just starting my growth spurt. So yeah. And Betsy, you were trying to say something?
Yes, Ivania dropped a comment. E, you were so far down the rabbit hole. You didn't want your life to end. It was just the only way you could think to make the pain stop. I'm glad you stopped, though.
Thank you, Ivania. And you were there. She knows. She was around that time. She was my 3 a.m. call when I was going through my divorce. And I was her 3 a.m. call to hers. But yeah, she knows. And that's true.
People need people.
It's true. I wanted the pain to end. Not only that, I felt like because I was in so much pain, the only thing that I could give others was pain. And I didn't want anybody else to hurt because of me.
Of course.
Kat says, we are all glad, E. We are.
You guys are going to make me cry. Stop it.
Oh, we love you, though.
Yeah, but you had to go ahead and make that goofy face.
With all the snow I've been dealing with, it's either laugh or cry at this juncture.
Yeah, but if you cried, it would just turn into more snow and fall to the ground that way. And now she's crying.
I just don't want to deal with anymore.
All right. My curiosity has got the best of me now. I'm checking out what the weather forecast looks like for you guys.
Supposedly, I'm supposed to get a break tonight, but it's supposed to, and a break. No, not a break tonight. A break tomorrow, and then Saturday it starts going to town on us again. It was like 8 to 12 inches.
Let's see here. Tonight, 50% chance of snow. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Tomorrow night, snow, 70% chance. But hey,
just Saturday, Sunday.
But hey, the air quality's good.
We got wonderful air. So the water's good too. Come on down.
Yeah, except for the time that the water was contaminated with E. coli, magically vanished 2 weeks before 4th of July, and magically came back 2 weeks after.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Interesting how that happened. And it was actually a cover. It was a cover that had gone bad, and rats were shitting in the water supply where this cover had gone bad, and that's where it came from.
And I know of one person on the entire city board who constantly fought for redoing and renovating the water supply because it was ancient as fuck and needed some serious care. But the rest of the city council went, well, nothing's happened yet. Kick the can down the road. And then guess what? Almost had 4th of July ruined. That, for some companies, for some businesses up in that area, literally 4th of July week, or the week before, week of, that whole time span, that is your full year's income. You either make it or you fail that year due to that 1 week.
Yes. Oh, like Lake Siskiyou, for example.
Yep.
They're booked a year in advance.
Yep. That campground, and there's other businesses
this year was horrible.
And all the businesses around that depend on that tourist boom. If there was no tourist boom, there'd be people closing up shop afterwards, be like, I'm not going to make it.
That's why we need the snow, honestly. It's a lot to come in at once, which sort of sucks as far as that goes.
But ski park.
But the ski park needs it. And I bought my eldest a ski pass, my youngest a $200 gift card. We taught him how to snowboard 2 weeks ago. He really wants to go back, but there's been no snow.
Wow.
We're hoping to get back this weekend.
Ivania just said something very profound.
Yes, she did. She said, isn't it weird? People say suicide is selfish, but everyone I know that has attempted are thinking of everyone else.
And everybody I've known that has attempted, I have to say the same thing.
Same here.
I'll go with it's a very profound statement because I've never known anybody who has gone through that challenge.
Hi.
Well, right. Well,
Hello.
I mean, as far as personally being there to witness it,
right,
or learn from it, it hasn't touched me closely like that. I mean,
now this came from my uncle, the same uncle that said that my high school life would be a lot better if they don't associate me with him. This is the most profound quote from him, and it sticks with me every day. Suicide is a permanent solution to temporary problems.
That's very profound. I like that. That's very, that's a good summary of it.
Although there was one guest that we had who actually had a permanent problem. So, yeah. And Ivania said, "I know I was when she attempted."
Mm-hmm. The suicide rate has gone up through the roof, and depression and alcoholism and drugs and everything since this stupid lockdown.
Oh, hey. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a little spoiler for an upcoming episode because it's relevant with the topic at hand. I don't think it was that one. I believe it's the March 4th episode. I'll have to double check. Actually, you know what? I can check the notes. Yep. March 4th episode. Former teacher. Now disabled due to breakdowns over mixed online and in-person teaching thanks to COVID. Coming on the show.
I want to be there to listen on that one.
Yes. And also,
very apt.
Also, they're if I remember correctly, our second international guest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Stretching our limits, are we? Spreading our wings?
Oh, yes. We had our season premiere this year. We actually had our first international guest. And that was...
Awesome show.
All the way to the blustery Canada.
Ooh.
But this one, we're going to Ireland.
Oh, I've always wanted to go there.
What's amazing is this person is willing to be up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, like
to be on this show.
The show starts. The show starts at like 3 a.m. for them. Yet they're going to be on the air for it.
So he's just going to be napping early.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
No, that's awesome. I think that's to reach international levels. That's a wide range.
Oh yeah, and also April 1st, and this is not an April Fool's joke. This is dead serious. We're having someone that's going to be on from Dubai, in the UAE. They're originally from Angola, and they're going to be on from Dubai. They are exactly 12 hours different from the Pacific time zone. So when we're going on at 6 p.m., they're coming on the air at 6 a.m. Their morning's just starting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they speak English?
Yeah, very fluent.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're getting some pretty good stuff coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing, because for the longest time, all of our listeners were like strictly in the U.S. and we get a little Canada here and a touch of the UK there, but now we're actually getting guests coming on.
No, that's awesome. Good for you.
Good for everyone.
Right? Helps us all.
It's us. Now, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I usually just tell this after the show, but since we're on it, over the last 30 days, we've had listeners from the United States, Canada, Brazil, Ireland, Denmark, Finland, India, and New Zealand. I swear, we have one listener in New Zealand that has been listening constantly, and I think what happened is that they listened to all of our episodes at once, which shot them way the hell up on the rankings for a while there. Because for a while, New Zealand almost overtook the U.S. for the most listens.
Wow, that's unusual.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where our current listening base is over the last 30 days.
No, that's awesome. And you do it once a week, right?
Yep. Yes, we do. And let's see here. I'm going to do since we started this show, March 19th to today. We've also had listeners in Norway and Sweden as well, and Australia.
Wow.
I remember we had one in Thailand too. I don't see it popping up. Oh well, but yeah, we have listeners. It's kind of nice, and I don't mean just
Very nice.
yeah. Yeah, you've been shoveling snow all day.
Yeah.
And you're all like, what, 5 foot nothing?
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, the first night was easy. It was like full shovelfuls of nothing but powder. Light as a freaking feather.
Yep. Then it got wet.
Then it got wet, and you're like shoveling that much, and it feels like 2 times what you shoveled of the powder.
Oh, yeah, I remember just, I hated shoveling
And if
snow.
it freezes, my whole place is going to be an ice skating rink. And I got seniors and handicapped and...
You know what I hated the most? After a big snow like what you're getting right now, what happens is that the sun comes out in the daytime, and it starts to melt the snow. And then all that water vapor travels up into the air, the sun sets, clouds form, you get ice underneath, and then it snows again with just all the water vapor. So now you have this powder over a sheet of ice.
Yeah.
And then it just repeats and repeats and repeats.
That's what we're doing. Repeat, 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 repeat.
Yeah. Okay, so did you know where I lived growing up?
No.
Do you know where Mill Street is? You know where the post office is?
Yes.
Yes. So the street that runs parallel to Mount Shasta Boulevard behind the post office, that's Mill Street.
Okay. Yes.
If you take that all the way to the dead end, that's where I lived. That dead end was my yard.
Okay.
Now imagine what happens when the snows plow after a snowstorm where it goes from ankle deep to shoulder deep overnight.
Everything goes in front of your house.
Yes. We had a snowbank that was... Okay, you know, the hoop on a basketball rim is 10 feet tall. Our basketball hoop was unfortunately not quite regulation. It was 10 feet and 2 inches. The snowbank went above that halfway up the backboard. I had a 11-foot, maybe close to 12-foot snowbank to go sledding off of and build tunnels. And then when that thing turned into a solid block of ice, after it had shrunk down to about a 8 foot, 7 foot one, my dad got an itch to go fishing in his bass boat, which was parked right along. In order to get the bass boat out, we had to chip away at least half of that snowbank. At that point, block of ice. Whew, man, it took a while to get through that. Yeah, that snowstorm was the snowstorm. That year was the last year that I was like, you know what, I don't want to live in this anymore.
I'm done.
Yeah, although here's the irony. I planned on living in Mount Shasta, but I kind of didn't want to anymore. And then met someone, fell in love, got pregnant. She wanted to further her career, could only go so far at the local community college. So we moved. I haven't been back since to live there. And I saw people going, how come you don't want to move back? I'm like, well, number one, the town is way too small for my liking anymore. Number two, when I'm there, I never see anybody I know anymore because there's too many flatlanders. Number three, holy shit, why are there so many fucking crystal shops everywhere?
Oh, God.
I can't buy socks or underwear, but I can sure as fuck buy crystals.
I know.
And then, of course, number four, it still fucking snows.
Apparently.
Ivania says when we got caught in the bomb cyclone, there was a snowbank so tall and so wide it took 3 snowcats to get through it to get to us.
Woo!
So the highest lift on the mountain is called Coyote. It's the third lift, the third ski lift on the mountain.
I haven't been on there since that lift was made. Okay, just give you an idea. When I went skiing last, Douglas didn't have night runs. Only Marmot.
Right. Okay. Nope. Totally there with you. totally there with you. I mean, we went once in 2018 and once this last 2 weekends ago. So, and I went in all of my 8th grade gear, boots, skis, poles.
Told you I
jacket,
stole all
pants.
your height.
Yep, all from 8th grade. But no, so they have a third lift now. So you have to go up Douglas or take that first run off. Going down would be off to the left off of Marmot to get to this third lift.
Yeah, the one that goes.
It's called,
yeah, I know exactly which run you're talking about.
it goes higher up. And they closed it down because there wasn't enough snow for that lift, which is odd because it's the highest one. But they said it was closed because of that. And while it was closed and the ski park was open, fucking chair fell off.
Hey, good thing it was closed.
Right? Right? But yeah, sort of scary.
Have you heard the stories about what it was like skiing at the old ski bowl?
I only heard that it had a lodge that was a real ski lodge that put our new one to shame.
Yeah. Except
I think
it got
washed away before we were old enough to think about doing anything like that.
Yeah, it got wiped out by an avalanche.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are like, see, it was dangerous to go skiing. There's like, well, the ski bowl had been shut down for years by the time that happened, and no one was maintaining the snowbanks to prevent avalanches. So an avalanche happened. Huh?
So it had been closed up for years, and that's when it happened?
Yep. It didn't happen while it was still running.
Oh, I thought it was still running, and that's what happened and took it out, so that was that. Just sort of like the drive-in theater. We had that storm, it blew it down, and that was that.
Well, the drive-in theater was closed for a while leading up to that, and they were talking about reopening it. They were going to reopen it that next year, and then that windstorm came, and poof, there goes the screen.
I love drive-in.
I love that drive-in. I have so many memories of that drive-in, but anyway, going skiing at that old ski bowl. From stories I have heard, the chairlifts would go up over 100 feet over the snow in some areas just because of the way it was designed.
Right.
And you would sit on a windy night, you would sit for over an hour just going up a little bit, stop. Move forward one chair, stop. Because the wind was blowing so hard, the chairs were too sideways to go ahead and unload safely. So they'd have to wait, they'd have someone on the radio up above, and when there would be a lull in the storm, they'd be like, okay, here comes a lull, and then they would start moving the chair so that way the chair would come down long enough just so someone could get off, and then the wind would pick back up and
Okay, I'm glad that I didn't have to deal with that because that would freak me out.
I was like, how is that a good time?
That just sounds scary.
And the prices are scary now too. $74 a pop, even for my 13-year-old.
Jesus, my dad and I used to go skiing, do the 2-for-1 night skiing, $14. It was $7 a pop.
They just got new owners, and they bought it as a tax write-off, so they really don't give two shits about us.
Well, good night, Ivania. Sorry I missed it. She's going to go sin.
Yeah.
See, I have no sinning plan for tonight. It's just sleep.
Yeah, no, she's going to go shit in the neighbor's yard, so. I'm making stuff up now because I can. And Kat was talking about how important crystals are. They're mega important.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is that all those crystal shops, they all swear only their crystals have the mystical powers. The others are just rip-offs.
Right. No, there's only one real one.
Yep. And, oh my god, we should have an episode about our hometown. Our hometown's so fucked up.
It's interesting.
There's a reason that some of us came out with issues. And it's not necessarily just the school.
No.
The I Amers, man. The I Am reading room. And the Violet Flame. And Lemurians. Like, holy shit.
And the people who would come with their crystals and they'd wave it over my parents' menu and say, I'm supposed to have this wine. And I'm supposed to have this food. And then, you know, obviously the crystal didn't know that we happened to be out of that wine or that food.
Yeah, just like, you know, I'm going to pick out the perfect business card, pulls out a leather strap with the crystal on it, and the crystal starts magically spinning circles Not that their hand is slowly doing small circles above it.
But it's doing it on its own.
Yeah, and then they lower their hand and it lands on the one card that they hope that the crystal would pick.
Right. Sit.
Oh.
Okay, I had someone come up and tell me that if you held certain fingers, they had different healing properties. Like if you held this finger, it helped heal your aura. If you held these two fingers, it helped to heal your heart. Like, and this is what I was like, okay, and what flavor ice cream would you like served? Because
Well, I'll just start walking around like this all day long, so I'm like healing everything.
right? Because I mean, I was like, I just want to serve ice cream. That's what I'm being paid to do. I don't want to listen to this bullshit.
I saw fairies on the mountain. I already caught one.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, I found the secret entrance for the Lemurians, and they drink Coors.
Magic cores.
No, what you found was the cave where the teenagers like to hang out. And they like Coors.
Right? Zima.
Oh, God, Zima. Boone's Farm.
Oh my God.
Mad Dog 2020.
Oh no!
Oh no, no, never again.
I had it one time. Once. No, never again.
Never again.
Had Bacardi 151 once also. The day I got braces, Jacob Carter gave it to me.
You just totally name dropped.
Did.
Oh.
I did. I puked in the toilet over and over and over and over and over again, but I forgot about the braces.
I love Jacob, though.
I love that man. He was great.
I love him. I love his twin. I love those two.
He turned out to be a great dad.
Yeah. They both wound up being pretty fucking awesome.
We had good people in high school. I mean, we had some douchebags, but we had some good people in high school, too.
Yeah, we did.
And I think in the end, a lot of us who were lost sort of got a bit found and became better people also.
Yeah, some of us had to get the fuck out of the area. Like me. How the fuck you found yourself while still there, I don't know. But more power to you.
I was in Washington for over 10 years.
Oh, okay. And you still came back.
I did come back. I've also been rode out of the town on a rail.
Well, I will say that Washington is basically Mount Shasta North, except for Seattle.
Seattle, I hate Seattle.
I have
one-way streets and the up and down streets.
I swear that the city planner for Seattle took a plate of spaghetti, threw it against the wall, and said, "There's our map."
Exits off both sides of the damn freeway.
Yeah, I was like, I want to go see the Space Needle. I drove for like 20 minutes, didn't get anywhere closer to it. I gave up. I'm like, fuck this. I'm sure with GPS I'd be able to get there. Oh,
and I threw up every time I had to go.
And you're not allowed to back into parking spots in Seattle.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. But then it's all parking garages anyways.
Well, no, if you park on the street, it's you have to park front and forward, not back end. You can't back in, otherwise they'll tow you. Because of some stupid city ordinance. And I'm sitting there going, but most vehicles are front wheel drive. It'd be easier to tow it if it was parked that way. just a thought. No, but I'm glad that you did find your happy. I'm glad that you found your husband. I only met him very, very briefly at that reunion. Yeah. I would love to be able to have some time to just hang out with you guys. You know where I live now.
I know. I do know where you live. I also might be trying to do it this year because technically we were supposed to have our reunion last year.
Yeah.
And it got COVID-19'd.
That's funny. That's exactly how many years we've been out of high school, right? 19. And then some. Plus another 21. No, another 19. No, 11. 11. 11. 11. Sorry. I are good at mathers.
But yes, no, if I have to come to Sacramento for any reason, I will be calling you now.
Oh, most definitely. And I know where the good food is around here.
See, there you go.
Although-
Always like good food.
Although I will say it's hard to find bad food around here.
Now you're just bragging.
I'm still
but it's
dying
true.
to get a hold of the fish tacos.
Yeah, fish tacos are the best. Have you ever had a fish taco?
I don't like seafood. It smells like dirty crotch.
So, I mean, wow. So you're definitely not gay.
Tuna in a can with a lot of mayonnaise is the closest I come to seafood. Or breaded popcorn shrimp dipped in ranch.
I will say this. If the fish smells fishy, that's not good fish. Only tuna should smell like that. Most of your other fish, when it is fresh, it shouldn't smell like much of anything at all.
Really? Okay, well, maybe I've not smelled very fresh stuff because I have not liked this odor.
Well, you also live in the middle of fucking nowhere, and it's a logistical
I'm not
nightmare
exactly
to get
on
anything
the
fresh.
ocean.
I mean, there's fresh trout and bass. You can catch a lot of that. No, but seriously, the fish tacos, it's beer battered. I don't remember what species of fish. It's a white fish that's like, if you go through Rubio's Baja Grill, which honestly is my favorite fish tacos. They use a white fish that's only found down in Baja, California. It's beer battered, and I don't know what the sauce is. I think it might just be simply like sour cream with a little something added to it, like maybe some lime and cabbage on a corn tortilla, and it's the bomb. You squeeze a lemon on it, and oh my god!
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, it's better than a fish stick and a piece of bread. I wish everyone could have seen the look on her face. It was priceless.
Not unless I was starving.
Yeah,
Not unless I was starving.
yeah,
Kat is agreeing. Rubio's has great fish tacos. And she also says it kind of smells like the ocean if it's fresh.
That's true.
Yeah, well, the ocean is a better smell than dirty crotch.
Yeah. Then I was gonna ask: are we talking about fish or are we talking about crotch? If it's fresh and it smells like ocean, I don't think that's exactly fresh.
Unclean. Like, wash yourself. You shouldn't smell like that. Not good.
Now I'm just thinking of Martin Lawrence from his routine, You So Crazy. This looks like a good place for a stick-up.
Oh, I like him. He's good.
Yes. What, fish tacos? Kat was saying, I always used to say that those are two words that don't belong together. Probably fish tacos, and then you have one, and then you're like, yep, these belong.
Oh, my mom loves fish tacos. So obviously there is a demand for such a thing.
Yeah, I've also like lobster tacos and shrimp tacos. Basically, I mean, okay, there's a
keep those away from me.
Yeah, those will kill you.
Yeah.
Shellfish allergy.
Yep.
Yes. Very extreme one.
Ooh, so I started watching The Servant the other night. Ooh, so good. It's on Apple TV Plus. So, almost nobody's going to be streaming it, but I mean, it's like, honestly, if you sign up for their free trial, there are 2 shows that you absolutely must watch. They are so, so good. And a third one, too, I'd throw in there because it's also really, really good. The first one is The Morning Show. Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell, and, God damn it, I see her so... From Legally Blonde.
Reese Witherspoon?
Oh, yeah.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yes.
You would think it's a comedy because of the cast. It's not. And Martin Short's in it a couple times. A few other people. It is a fantastic show. Like, seriously, riveting. Every episode's better than the last one. Also, The Servant. Even though it is executively produced by M. Night Shyamalan, Shyamalama Ding Dong, he has learned his lessons, I think, because this series, I'm only about 5 episodes, maybe 6 episodes in, and I'm freaking hooked. I think I figured out what The Servant is, but but it doesn't change the fact that holy shit, it's still really good. And the other one that, I mean, you just got to see it because holy shit, it's good. See, like, Vision, C, S-E-E. That one, it stars, why am I coming up blank with names again? Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
Who was the first one? The what?
What was that?
Before you said C, it was the what?
No, The Servant.
The Servant. Okay. I'm writing it down so Gary can try to look it up.
Yeah, the servants.
A-N-T or E-N-T?
What was that?
A-N-T or E-N-T?
A-N-T.
A-N-T. I went to Mount Shasta. I suck at spelling.
That's okay. I get it. You go above 3 syllables, and you've obviously gone to school outside of Mount Shasta High. But, yeah, no, it's definitely The Morning Show, The Servant, and C. All three are absolutely fantastic in their own ways. The Morning Show, it's a drama. I mean, it is about as pure drama as you're going to get. It is amazing. The Servant, it's a suspense kind of horror. There's moments of horror, but no, there's not like jump scares or anything, at least yet.
Right.
And then there's C, which is a virus wiped out all but maybe about 1 million or 2 million people on the earth, and the survivors are all blind.
Oh, yes, we did. So we only saw like the first season of that.
So good!
Is there another season?
I know that they planned on it, but then COVID came. Just like they planned on another season of The Morning Show.
The whole first season. It was freaking bomb.
Yeah. Like, seriously, I mean, I know people are like, I don't want any more streaming services. Honestly, I think Apple TV Plus is one of the best. They have some amazing shows and amazing movies.
Like my husband has his PlayStation.
It has Apple TV Plus on it now.
Well, he just streams everything through the PlayStation, and we watch what's in movie theaters for free. We just watched the new Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman 1984?
Yeah.
Yep, if you have a subscription with HBO Max, it was free.
Oh, yeah, so we don't pay, well, we pay a subscription.
Right.
To the PlayStation, but yeah, that's what we stream everything off of. We don't pay to rent movies or do the Xbox gimmick or whatever. Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, Wonder Woman was good. I think the first one was better, but the second one was still really good.
The first like 20 minutes of it was my favorite. I mean, I liked the whole movie, but the first 20 minutes of her as a little girl just fucking kicking ass.
Yes.
I was just like, yeah.
Yep, but they got stopped, but for good reason.
Right.
And that reason became a life lesson that wound up paying off dividends in the end. Of course it was foreshadowing. That's how movies work these days.
I still thought she was very creative. I did not feel she was trying to cheat. I felt she was trying to overcome adversity.
That's what I thought too. But in the end, they were right. And in the end, it was you may have been
you did all the things.
You may have been overcoming adversity, but you did take a shortcut.
Yeah, but she rocked it.
Oh,
she
God,
rocked it so hard.
Another movie that was free if you had the subscription was to Disney Plus. Soul. Oh God, that was good.
I have got to rewatch that. I started it, but I also had guests at the house, so it didn't I put it on for a little kid and ended up getting hooked into it, but I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
It's the two main voiceover people are Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey. And it is so good, especially if you love I mean it helps if you have a love of music because it's very music focused as the gateway to get you hooked. She has a visitor.
Ah.
Well, my son just told me it looks like he's had a bloody nose. So, are you okay? It doesn't look curved. Why? Did someone hit your nose?
Just tell him to get a snowball and put it on his nose. It'll stop bleeding. It really works, too. So that the one big snowstorm that we were talking about earlier, while she's still distracted by her son, we woke up in the morning. And this was on New Year's Eve when it started snowing. I literally could play hide and go seek with my sister because it was snowing so hard that after 30 seconds, your prints were covered. You couldn't see them.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like when I said that I was able to play hide and go seek in the snow successfully. You have to understand the snowflakes that were coming down were the size of tea plates. The tea saucers. They were fucking huge. Like the size of my hand. The snowflakes.
Wow.
And it was just coming down heavy. Like the vision, you walked 20 feet away and you couldn't see. the person that you walked away from. It was amazing. We woke up the next morning, it was shoulder deep. We went to bed at ankle deep. Yeah, that morning we were in a state of emergency, and I had a little transistor radio, and I got my snow gear on, and went and shoveled off some roofs. And I told the people too, because they were reporting, hey, we're hearing cracking and popping on our roof, and we're afraid that the house is going to cave in. Like these are like older people, they can't do it themselves. So go over there and tell them, hey, when you see me jump off your roof, I'm fine. And they're like, what? Get up there, shovel off the roof, and then when I'm done, you just toss the shovel off to one side, and you jump out, lay back, and boof, into the snow. Oh, God, it was fun. 2 stories, no fear. Fine, whatever. I'll jump off of that snow. Hey, I wasn't going to get hurt. I was landing in powder.
Right?
Although,
I mean, it sounds like fun.
Oh, it was a blast. Although I did almost lose a friend who was idiot enough to toothpick jump into his backyard, and he went boom, up to his neck and was pinned. He almost froze to death.
Oh, wow.
So I have to check out. He thinks he broke his nose, so I have to.
All right, mate, you know what?
That's okay.
You don't need to worry about getting ice. Just go outside, get a snowball. It forms to the nose.
Probably what I'm going to end up doing. But
Yep.
he needs mommy love, so.
All right, and then when you do that, before you put the snowball on, flick his nose. If he doesn't scream, it's not broken. I'm just kidding. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway.
I won't. Hey, you guys have a great night. I will talk to you later.
All right. Hey, thank you for coming on. We're going to go ahead and end it with this.
Thank you so much.
You've
My
been
pleasure.
a great guest.
Thank
Yes.
you. All right. Bye.
All right, bye.
Okay, honey, I'm coming.
All righty. So, do we, well, it's been an hour and 45 minutes there. That would be a good time to stop, I guess.
I think so.
Wow, we've had an episode that we had to cut off like oh shit, I got only 10 seconds left. Bye. To hey, I gotta go because my kid might have broke his nose. You never know, man. Live broadcasting, man. You never know.
Well, it's it's always an adventure. I'll say that.
Yes, it is. All right, everyone. Good night. We'll see you next week. I'm E.
I'm Bexy.
Until then.